Hello and welcome to a new section for SHOWstudio, Post. This is where we're going to round up the show that we've just seen, and I would like to pose you all a question. The question is, what are your highlights? What is your takeaway from the J.W. Anderson show? Katie.
My takeaway is that I love that he continued to carry on with his sort of spirit of perversion, of things being a little bit twisted, not quite right, and yet at the same time being sort of perfectly luxurious. So for me, in this collection, the things that I would say for that, the kind of markers of that were the fact that you had quite a puritanical vibe in some instances. You had belted dresses, you had sort of things that almost looked a bit monastic, but then at the same time, you also had this aristocratic vibe, you know, these silks and these kind of extremely joyful, ultra textured pieces, and then topped off with the kind of b-boy hat slash fascinator, which shows that sense of humour and also alludes perhaps to British rave culture, something, you know, we're all thinking about British culture at the moment, so I felt like that kind of sense of perversion, that juxtaposition, and thinking about what it means to be British were total highlights for me.
My highlight was the maturity of this collection. I found it very fluid, really lovely. I love the fact that it was the antithesis in terms of volume. Big sleeves and really soft, pale colors, but at the same time, quite strong flushes of really bold colors that they stood out. It felt very British, but in a very royal way, as Katie said. I love that part of the collection very much, and I also love the tailoring of it. I thought the pants were exquisite. The coats, the way that they were worn, coming in and out of it in a very kind of like modern British way, young but mature at the same time.
My takeaways were, I guess, the juxtaposition. So that's something that continues throughout J.W. Anderson anyway. But in this collection, it was the first outfits that came out that were quite severe almost and quite minimalist, structured and like really beautiful pieces, very wearable. And that juxtaposed with the more kind of frivolous, like the bright colours and the ruching and the kind of more elaborate pieces, I guess. And then also, I guess, the relationship between the commercial and the creative, which is something that we've said is a real kind of like J.W. Anderson success story. So you've got those, more, I guess, elaborate, that fuchsia kind of tasseled, feathery-looking ball, compared to something that's much more, very commercial wide-leg trousers, which I think is going to be a trend that's, goes beyond Fashion Week. And that is something that I think J.W. Anderson does really well. It makes it look really easy, but it's actually quite a hard thing to do, to get that sweet spot between those weird juxtapositions between two sort of disparate elements.
Thank you. So a collection of contrasts. We have from the colours to much more muted tones, volume and movement, then with tailoring, and then of course the one that really underlines it all, and it's his secret to his success, which we elaborate more on the panel. It is this idea of huge creativity that always pushes boundaries and that he never stays still, compared with savvy commercial acumen. So well done, J.W., and thank you all.
Thank you.